presented by Ms. Cristina Conde.
Mrs. Olegario, dear parents, fellow students, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I do not believe in success, or more precisely, in success as we have come to know it today. For today, being successful is equated with being wealthy, powerful, or glamorous, and there lies the tragicomedy. All these things, wealth, power, prestige, and glamour, are but forms. They are temporal, and the satisfaction gained by those possessing them are both shallow and fleeting. To be successful is to know how to relate with our fellow men, and more importantly, to find pleasure in doing so. It involves sharing one's thoughts, feelings, dreams, and desires with others, and learning about theirs in turn, in a manner that could be understood by all. Being successful, therefore, is nothing but knowing oneself and being secure in that knowledge. Success is about happiness, being happy with who we are and with who we may yet truly be. Being chosen as the valedictorian of the program is both an honor and a challenge. The former, we all know why, and I need not belabor the obvious. It is the latter I'd like to touch on. As a John Robert Powers student and role model, I was carefully guided and molded to becoming a more confident woman of today. I may as yet be far from achieving the ideal, but I'd like to think that already I have come a long, long way from the girl I used to know just until a year ago. And for this, I'm eternally grateful. But I shall not thank you now, for the sincerest thanks that I could give you all lies in the work ahead, that of realizing my full potentials, or who I may yet truly become. Achieving that would be the highest form of gratitude that I could give. And it is to that end that I now commit myself. It is with my John Robert Powers training that I shall succeed. I know this because I now have the power. Thank you.
Perhaps the added touch to the evening was the fact that the graduates themselves chose their color schemes, their dresses, and everything. They put that final magic touch. Nothing would have been complete without that. So for that, could we give them another round of applause? Earlier this evening, somebody approached me and asked me what this sign up here was, the John Robert Powers. Was it a yo-yo on a string, or was it a frying pan? I'm sorry to say I don't know. Perhaps Rene could give us an answer.
Well, Joy, hardly. That isn't a yo-yo nor a frying pan. No, not at all. It is a hat box.
A hat box?
A hat box, a box where they keep hats.
Okay.
Okay.
And
that hat box became popular, and in fact it was a style of carrying things. And, well, all the way up to 10 years ago, it was called a hat box. And then, 10 years ago, they just decided to call it a tote bag.
Oh, I see. So my little bag was once a hat box?
Yep. Especially big round things like that, you know, with zippers on the side.
Big round things.
Yeah.
Big round things.
Yeah, big round, round boxes with hats. Because hats were huge. You see, the reason why they became in vogue, okay, they got in vogue was 1923 when John Robert Powers opened his agency in New York. He opened his agency on the second floor of a men's haberdashery. Okay. And, well, male models and female models came up and down the stairs, passing through the haberdashery as they would go off to work. But they'd be carrying a lot of things that they needed for work. And so they sort of needed something to carry it in. And passing down the haberdashery, of course, they'd go up to the owner and start borrowing the hat boxes because anyway, you know, some of them were empty, that was for storage. And, well, you know, they started around New York. I mean, all these models went to and fro New York City, and they traveled all around. So everybody would see almost anybody walking with a hat box was called a Powers model. And it was so popular that somebody, a friend of ours, I think, came up to him and said, okay, can I do this style in leather? And so 1924, a year after it was popularized by practicality, it became in vogue, all the way up to 10 years ago, until society called it a tote bag.
Okay, thank you for the information. Here it is, Renee. Have you seen the program yet?
Sorry.
Not yet. Oh, it's here. The history of the famous hat box. How about you people out there? Have you seen our program? It is available outside. We hope none of you will leave without one this evening.
She's fooling. You know, she told... Is it here?
Yes, it is here. Look. History of the famous hat box. We both didn't read our homework.
You're not supposed to do that.
Wait.
Apologize in public.
I'm not apologizing.
Okay. Well, let her do her work.
Okay, thank you, Renee. The moment has come. Their diplomas will now be handed to them by our directress, Mrs. Ping Valencia Olegario. The graduates: Diane Wong, Jimra Lynn Choa, Vincent Charles Bagatsing, Gladys Legasio.